welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Maybe morning where some of you are. My name is Dr. Yolanda Harper, and I am a professor at University of Arizona Global Campus. I am co-chairing this session with Dr. Nicola Lucas Prendergast, associate professor here at UAGC, and we are pleased to welcome you to Yoga with Laurel. We hope you enjoy the session, and now I'll turn it over to Laura Hoderi.
Thank you, Dr. Harper. I'm thrilled to be here with everyone. I want to kind of just say a few things about yoga and the connection to culture of care and what we do every day here in our work, which is to serve our students and put our students first. And I'm just checking to see, do I have my view correctly? Maybe I should put this on. Well, I guess I'm on the speaker view. We're good. Okay. What's the connection and why should we care? Part of this is about self-care, and I'll come back to that in just a quick second. But I want to start with a quote. We become the company we keep, so keep good company. And that was a quote given to me by one of my yoga teachers who also happens to be a professor in upstate New York in Sanskrit studies, who spent many years studying at the foot of his teacher in India. And when we think about that quote, what I want to call your attention to is not only collegiality, we become the company we keep, so keep good company, and social networks, but your thoughts. Thoughts have a lot of power, and it's actually well documented. You can go look at anything on Google or Psychology Today. The more negative self-talk we have, the more negative outcomes we have. It's not, I think we're attached as a culture that if we somehow beat up on ourselves, we're going to do better or perform better. It's actually the opposite. So becoming aware of our thoughts and then choosing which thoughts we choose to ruminate in is a fundamental concept in the whole world of yoga. And it's also really foundational to the idea of meditation and clearing your mind of thought, which on its surface may seem completely contradictory to academia, where we're trying to learn new thoughts and acquire and assimilate and apply thoughts. But the whole foundation of this is that the brain is an organ that we can train. And just like you can flex a muscle at the gym, if you were going to do a big powerlifting competition, you would train regularly lifting weights ahead of time to do that. We effectively do a mental marathon every day. And how many of us have great control over our thoughts? I know for me, I've been at this for a while and I still don't have great control over my thoughts. And so the idea with yoga is to become aware of them and then to let them go, much like you would the credits on a movie at the end that so often we look at but don't read. Just let them scroll by and let them pass, because there's something really powerful about having a spacious mind. And in fact, we know some of the greatest inventors in the world, like Einstein, had their epiphanies not when they were at the chalkboard penciling out crazy, complex formulas, but when sitting in reverie under a tree or taking a rest. And that is the idea behind the practice of yoga, which is closely tied to meditation. And you can think of yoga as a movement meditation. And I bring this up because we are all in academics, but also not only do we have patterned thinking, we have patterned holding or armoring in our body or somatics that can cause us to relive trauma and to recirculate trauma. And it's been my experience as an academic advisor at UAGC that a lot of our students also have trauma. I think we all have it. Trauma with a big T or trauma with a little t, it doesn't really matter which, it impacts us. And the latest research in the field by Dr. Gabor Mate, a Holocaust survivor, who is also an MD, and by Peter Levine, who wrote Waking the Sleeping Tiger, or Waking the Tiger, have both discovered that movement and breath work, among other things, can help release stored trauma along with those negative thoughts. And that is a really effective tool in downregulating our alert system in our body. So essentially, stress, life, and trauma create a stress level in the body that activates an axis in our brain called the hypothalamus pituitary axis that causes everything in our system to be upregulated. And when we're in that state, guess what? We can't study. We can't focus on school because it robs our brain and the prefrontal cortex of the very energy we need, glucose, and instead sends it to our arms and legs to run, fight, or flee. And so today we're going to do a little session. We're going to start with breathing. And then we're going to use that breathing that even when difficulty or uncomfortable sensations pop up in your body, like where you have stored tension, the idea is to meet, greet, and allow whatever sensations are arising within us without judgment, just to notice them. And just like those credits at the end of a movie, let them scroll right by. And you'll be surprised, a lot of times sensation can change pretty rapidly if we're not judging it as bad or good. All right. With that being said, I'm going to ask everyone to find a comfortable seat. We're going to start with just a centering exercise, which is a way to check in with yourself. I mentioned earlier that, yoga is as much for us in serving our students as it is for our students who can utilize this as a tool for succeeding in school. So take a comfortable seat on a chair if you have one handy, and make sure that when you sit, you can rock your pelvis back and forth and get right on top of those two bony points in your tush. That's an official yoga word. And you want to plug them in just like you would plug in your vacuum sweeper to the outlet. You want it perfectly lined up. You don't want a bad connection. And then from that, you can rest your hands on your thighs, stack your shoulders over your hips, and go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to take my glasses off because I actually don't need them. So when we close our eyes, it's the first step towards relaxation, as long as we feel safe. So I want to add that if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, you don't have to. I encourage you to turn your video off and even your volume off so that this can be a private experience together for each and every one of us. As you turn your attention inward, just begin to notice the contact of your feet with the floor, your 10 toes, the ball of your foot, the arch of your foot where it lifts away, the heel of your foot. Become aware of the touch of your hands on your thighs. Notice if there's any heat there. The contact of your seat with your chair or seat cushion. And then moving into your belly and chest. Noticing if you can feel or sense your breathing or your heartbeat. Maybe you're gurgling in your belly if you're getting hungry for lunch. Just taking notice of what is. This is the simple practice of bringing ourselves present to here and now. And now take a deep breath in through your nose. We're going to hold that breath at the very top. Hold it. You can puff up your chest like it's a hot air balloon. And like a dam breaking, you can explosively let the breath fall out of your mouth. Do this a couple more times on your own. One more time. And then go ahead and seal your lips and allow your breath to become audible, almost like the ocean or like Darth Vader or a cappuccino maker like this, by tightening the back of your throat. This is called victorious breath. Why is it victorious? Because it helps us have victory over our thoughts. It also creates heat in the body. So by constricting the back of your throat, you begin to generate heat, which is great when we're stretching. It's also great for combusting things we don't need, like negative thoughts. And I'll ask you to try to utilize this type of breath throughout the entire time of our practice today. And if for some reason it's eluding you, one way to practice it is to open your mouth as you exhale and imagine you're trying to fog a mirror. And this, just close your mouth halfway through, so it's like this. And this is a great time to do what's called a lightning round. I'm going to allow you to just keep your 2 words to yourself. If you want to put them in the chat, you can, or you can take a mental note of them, and maybe we'll talk about them at the end. I don't know. But it's just 2 words that describe exactly how you are in this moment. And I will share with you my 2 words, which are joyful and grounded. And I will say that they can be negative words too. You could be tired, happy, tingling. I love it. Could be hungry, distracted. This isn't about getting it right. This is about being authentic. So relaxed yet anxious. Perfect. So I would just say breathe into that. Like, great self-awareness, everybody. I can't tell you how many times when I've worked with a new private client in the past, they couldn't give me feelings. Tingling, relaxed. They had a really hard time doing this. So you guys are really tapped in. So just take a note of whatever those feelings are, those sensations are, and begin to breathe more deeply, and you can begin to open your eyes. What we're going to do is we're going to sync movement with breath, and we're going to start with a very small movement because it's easy, and then we'll begin to develop upon that. So what you're going to do is you're going to inhale and circle your arms up over your head as if you were clapping them over your head. And then as you exhale, and I do recommend breathing through your nose if you're comfortable with that, hands to heart. And then inhale, bring your arms to sky. And then exhale, arms to side. Do this 2 more times on your own. Now we're going to add eye rolls because a lot of us spend most of our day looking at a computer. And this is really good for your eye muscles, your brain. You're going to look up at like you're looking at 12 o'clock. Then we're going to go clockwise all the way over. Just circle your eyes to 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And then you're going to go backwards, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then one more clockwise. And one more counterclockwise. Then shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Inhale. Let the shoulders drop. Open mouth, exhale. Again, inhale. Shoulders up. Open mouth, exhale. Let it go. Last one. Inhale, shoulders up. Open mouth, exhale. And now we're going to add head roll, chin to chest, clockwise. That's your inhale all the way around. And then an exhale counterclockwise. anything hurts, just modify it to where it doesn't hurt. Most important thing is you listening to you. And one more time, inhale clockwise to the right. Exhale counterclockwise to the left. Inhale, raise your right arm up over your head. Take it over your head towards your left ear. And then you're going to gently pull your head towards your shoulder. So if you're using your left arm, you're pulling your head towards your left shoulder. And if you're using your right arm, you're gently stretching your right ear towards your right shoulder. Allow the shoulder that's relaxed to soften. Can you find your breath again? Notice that if you put some effort into the breath, but allow yourself to relax, that there is a natural pause at the end of the exhale and right at the top of the inhale before you let it go. And then inhale and come up and switch your arms. Other arm comes up with an inhale. Grab a hold of the opposite ear and allow the ear to move towards the shoulder of whatever arm is grabbing a hold of the side of your head. And come back to your breath. Notice if your thoughts are racing, that's perfectly normal. Just bring your attention back to your breath without judgment, no scolding, just, my mind wandered. I'm coming back to my breath. One more inhale. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. And now inhale both arms up over your head. Take your right arm to your left knee and twist, looking over your left shoulder. You can even take your left hand behind you as if you were trying to put it in your right hip pocket. Start to stretch your neck and your head far to the left, but also stretch your eyeballs to the left. Notice that when we're twisting, it's a little tougher to breathe. That's normal. When you inhale, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, think of wringing out your abdomen like you would a wet towel and try to twist a little deeper. This is a really great detoxifying practice. So it helps us to just kind of remove stored emotions that often, when you say that, I have a gut feeling about that, or you had something that was difficult that happened and you kind of feel it in your gut. This is a great way to release that. Take another breath in and reach both arms up. Switch directions, twist over to the other side. The right arm, or the one arm that's behind you, wraps behind you into the front hip pocket. And one other hand is grabbing onto your knee to twist. Can you stretch your chin a little further and even your eyeballs? Breathe in, rise up tall through the crown. Breathe out, squeeze your abdomen, and can you milk a little bit more to your twist? And then inhale back to center, bring both arms back up over your head. Clasp the fingers. You're going to take the hands directly behind your head, elbows wide. Sit up tall, so think of a rod right through your spine. And then the only thing that's going to bend is your chin. And I want you to go very lightly on this. A lot of us carry tension in our necks because we use the computer so much, as do I. So you're going to use the hand weight on your head to create a little stretch up the back of your neck. And you can also play around with this, like angle your chin maybe towards, if straight down is 6 p.m., you could angle your chin towards 8 p.m. Notice if there's a little more tension there. You could angle your chin towards 4 or 5 p.m. and see if there's some tension there. And come back to your breath. Inhale, rise up. Last thing we're going to do here with the arms is you're going to make a fist and put your knuckles together. This part of your hand, we're going to stand up. You're going to put this part of your hand as much as you can on your desk. This is a pretty intense wrist stretch, I'm going to say. So you're going to put this part of your hands on the table, elbows bent, and then if you have a desk handy, if you don't have a desk handy, you could do this at a wall. And then what you're going to try to do is either against the desk or the wall, keeping this part of the hand on the surface, you're going to begin to stretch your elbows straight. And I believe you will feel a pretty intense stretch in your wrists. And so I'm doing this on my desk, and then you just start to straighten your elbows, and you should get a nice stretch up the back of the forearm and wrist. And then as you inhale, you can bend down towards that surface. And then as you exhale, start to straighten as much as you can. By the way, I cannot straighten my elbows all the way. And if anyone can, you're light years ahead of me. And inhale down, exhale, straighten. Inhale down, exhale, straighten. And then release your hands, and you can straighten, not straighten, you can release your hands and just shake them out. So we're just going to shake, 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 shake. And then you can relax your arms, and we're going to shake out the right leg, like you're flicking water off your foot at the swimming pool. And then shake out your left leg. And then we're just going to take a few stomps on the ground to activate your awareness of the feet. And then we're going to shift your weight onto one foot. It doesn't matter which. Let's see if I can get this camera to aim down towards my feet. I cannot. Okay. With the virtual background, it doesn't work like this. So I'll just be really good with my words. You're going to shift your weight into one foot. The other foot, you're going to rise up onto the ball of the foot like you're on a kickstand, and then angle the knee out to the side. You can place your hands on your hips. The foot that is kickstanded is there for balance. And we're going to start to move into a posture called tree pose. I brought this into the practice today because it's great for sharpening our mental focus. Before we start to shift our weight entirely into the grounded leg by lifting the kickstand leg, bring your awareness back to your breath. So with an inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, bring your awareness down through your body into the planted foot. If you're able, you can start to lift the kickstanded leg so the foot is touching. You could even kickstand on top of your planted foot. You could kickstand onto the calf of your standing leg, or you could bring it up even high up into the inner thigh if you need to hold a wall or your table or your desk. Can you stay breathing here even through the micro adjustments your body's making? So this is a challenge we're doing while we're managing to breathe. And that's a skill I hope that you can bring with you off the yoga mat, so to speak, into the workplace, into life. That, you know, whenever you're under stress or you're trying to do something that's a little bit challenging, can you come back to the breath? Because like the culture of care pillars, the breath connects us to our whole person. Now, for some of you, you may want to take your arms up over your head. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can close your eyes and try balancing. Notice what happens to your breath when you start to lose your balance. You could also look up, which is very challenging on balance. And step down and change sides. The other thing I want to point out is whatever foot you were balancing on before, switch to the other side. and I'm looking at our time here. You're going to shift into the other foot, plant it, put a soft bend in the knee, and then kickstand the other leg. Come to your breath, inhale. Exhale, plant down through the planted foot, a little redundant there, and then bring up your kickstand leg anywhere so that all of your weight is on the planted foot. Hands to heart, arms overhead, your choice of whether you close your eyes, look up at the ceiling, or just focus out a spot on the wall. And this is how we train focus. When I was in grad school, I used this a lot. I was a TA, and I taught, what was it called? It was a course equivalent to English, and it was, I can't remember the exact name, but it was in the environmental school. So we were learning about history from an environmental perspective. And I always did this posture beforehand, and it really led me to having really good discussions with the students. Awesome. And then exhale and step down. We're going to take one other posture here. We've got about 4 more minutes. You're going to take your right leg forward, bend deeply into the knee as if you were lunging, and step the back leg, the left leg behind you. You can turn the back toes slightly forward and stretch your arms out in front of you. This is warrior pose. And I'm really sorry, folks, that with the back, I didn't plan for this. With the virtual background, it's obscuring what I'm doing. I'm going to see here. Maybe I take that. No. Okay. And then you'll feel some muscles working. Can you find your breath? Inhale. Exhale. Straighten your front leg. You can step forward and switch. Put your left leg forward, bend it at about 90 degrees, stacking your knee directly over your ankle. Slide the other leg back behind you. The toes can angle forward, and you can have the back foot flat on the floor for stability. And then inhale, arms up. Your arms are like a perfect horizontal line. And you're gazing out over your front fingertips. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And one more breath. The idea in yoga is that we purposely put ourselves into difficult postures and then try to show up with a slow, even, steady breath. Inhale and step forward. And then exhale. We'll sit back down. We're going to start to close our session here. We're going to come back to that comfortable seat we started with. You can close your eyes. Gentle, audible, victorious breath. And take a deep breath in. Hold your breath at the top. And like a dam breaking, open mouth exhale. And just like we began with a lightning round, we're going to end with a lightning round. Take a moment to look inward, sensing and feeling what's happening for you right here, right now. And then if you want to share, you can mentally make note of 2 words that capture where you are right now. And you're welcome to share them in the chat. There isn't a right and wrong. You might have seen something change from where you started. But the practice of this lightning round is really to become more attuned to ourselves, to have greater self-awareness, because that is the foundation of emotional intelligence. And if you want to share your 2 words in the chat, feel free to do that. I heard wow and relaxed. Lovely, I love it. Mine's relaxed and connected. And if you guys want to unmute and share them out loud, please do. I know we're at time here in 15 seconds. Calm and chill. Excellent. I have to put my glasses back on. I'm doing this before bed. Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
All right. That's a big thank you to Laurel Hoderi for her time and insight and experience. That concludes our yoga workshop. Thank you to all our viewers for joining us. We hope you found this workshop inspiring. On behalf of the Department of Behavioral Science and UAGC, we hope you have a great afternoon. And the next sessions are posted in the chat for your convenience. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Loved being with you today. Take care.